It's official. The 2K community killed NBA 2K26.
Hold on, what if I try to... Oh my god, I forgot. I can't dribble near... Oh, I just...
The game with so much potential that everyone loved is now a bug fest. And let's be honest, there is no fixing it. What it do with your gang? I hope y'all staying blessed. Listen, NBA 2K26 is officially dead at this point, and crybabies on Twitter killed it. Let's look at how we got here and find out if there is in fact a way to fix this game that appears to be beyond repair. The pre-release hype cycle. This time of the year when the current iteration of the game, in this instance NBA 2K25, is not only getting repetitive and old, but it is genuinely dead. 2K started the rollout of NBA 2K26 news and the community genuinely seemed to enjoy it this year. Then again, this has been happening for the past 10 releases of this franchise. From a fan perspective, the addition of valuable crew rewards, the part giving you a 15% rep boost, max +2 badge perks, the new cap breakers, logic and more really felt like they were going to change the way we play this game. One thing stood out from all of these new additions to the game: there would be a new maximum height for your my player in NBA 2K26. 7-4 Centers Saga. It all started with the addition of 7-4 centers. What was supposed to be great for the game at first looked like it until the very early access on August 28th happened, and players started to notice that 7-4 centers could not be contested regardless of your height.
Bro. There's no...
Bro! No.
Check it!
Lock it up. Come on, Tough. You got it.
Yo! What?
So as long as they had high shooting attributes, double, triple, quadruple teaming, these giants basically felt like the Avengers versus Thanos.
I am inevitable.
There was literally nothing that could be done to stop a 7-4 from just shooting over you and you not being able to register any kind of contest. It started with the so-called comp leagues banning the 7-4 centers from competing. This was met with criticism, of course, since a lot of people in the community had already created their builds and wasted money grinding them to 99. Despite Joe Knows specifically being against leagues banning 7-4 players,
the next thing some leagues did, they banned 7-4 centers. Right? It's a new height on the game and they can shoot over the top of smaller defenders, and leagues started banning that. However you feel about that, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
2K devs crumbled under the pressure and released a slight buff to contest on September 28th. Let's just say this patch was met with generally a positive reception. It specifically accomplished what it was supposed to do: restore balance in the game. However, if you've been a part of this community, you know there's always something else to complain about. Tempo is the culprit. If you're somewhat familiar with the NBA 2K franchise, then you might already be aware of what tempo or rhythm shooting is, a new shooting mechanic that was introduced in NBA 2K25 to fight the overwhelming impact that RNG had in the game. In short, the mechanic allows you to control the speed of your jump shot, hence the rhythm or tempo name. To do so, you need to press your right stick down and flick it up either fast or slow depending on your jump shot in order to green. And this worked, as it drastically improved the experience some had with shooting in NBA 2K25. The devs decided to run it again this year, and during the early gameplay courtside reports, gameplay director Mike Wang confirmed that the mechanic was making a return in NBA 2K26. Last year, for one to time their jump shot perfectly, Using rhythm shooting, they had to master both the timing of their jump shot and the tempo, explained earlier. Unfortunately, this version of the mechanic did not carry over to NBA 2K26. Rather, the only aspect of rhythm shooting one has to worry about in this year's game is the tempo, meaning you can make your jump shot without having an excellent timing. This turned into the new punching bag for this community. Thus began the finger-pointing campaign to get rid of tempo shooting, or at least nerf it. But it doesn't stop there, because of the timing of tempo being a bit more forgiving than using the traditional square or X button to shoot, coupled with fadeaway or pull-up jumpers, green windows being almost as big, and standstill shots. This became the meta, the most effective tactic available. It got to a point where the fadeaway jumper was more effective than the spot-up one. Everyone and their grandma was tempo fading in this game. The critics, who simply could not join the tempo shooting ranks, decided to push the devs and request for the mechanic to be nerfed.
Do not see how bad I'm smoking the timing intentionally and it's still going in. Do you guys not understand that I haven't greened one jump shot and it is going in every time? Do you not get it? Do you not see? Do you not understand what the I'm talking about now? That is a half bar and it's greening. Do you not understand that that's not how the game is supposed to be played? Do you not get that? Do you not get that, bro? And these people on Twitter don't get it. They don't get it.
The devs played silent on this topic for a few weeks, and for a while it seemed like they were not ready to repeat mistakes from the past. That all changed on October 4th, when the popular 2K account 2K Labs released the results of their findings regarding tempo shooting and its green window size.
Appears to roughly be 2 times bigger than that of button shooting when considering both push timing and tempo inputs. This appears to roughly be 2 times bigger
Two times bigger than that of button shooting.
This basically sparked the beginning of the end of tempo shooting, and those who had turned this into a habit. A lot of creators felt vindicated because of all the scientific data and findings that 2K Labs brought forth. This created the biggest divide in this community in the young history of NBA 2K26 so far. Let's just say things did not get better from there, because 10 days later, on October 14th, 2026, the devs released patch 2.0, one of the biggest patches ever released in the history of this game. Now begs the question, did the devs succeed in fixing their mishaps with this new patch? Did it accomplish what it was intended to do, just like the first patch did a month earlier? Rude awakening. Whoever sows injustice will reap calamity, and the rod of his fury will fail. Proverbs 22:8. In the early morning of October 14th, the devs had completed the deployment of patch 2.0, and let's just say this community succeeded in what it does best: auto destroy. The game that a lot of us had touted as the best NBA 2K game of the new gen consoles had just turned into a complete circus, a nightmare in 3D form, where players were not only unable to fade using tempo, but also not be able to dribble the ball without being ripped.
Alright, so hold on. What if I try to... Oh my god, I forgot. I can't dribble near... I don't... Alright, here we go. Welcome.
Worst, Steals got a surprise buff no one was expecting. It wasn't just a buff. It was impossible to keep the ball as the ball handler if you ran into your defender. Whether you were trying to abuse the Lonzo crossover or the Jimmy Butler escape, moves that were effective repatch, the game was unrecognizable. It was getting to a point where the same critics who were unhappy about tempo shooting before the patch could not even recognize the game they'd ask for.
But anybody that you see like celebrating this patch is actually an idiot, bro. Is actually an idiot. Anybody that you see defending that this should be a steal, well, bro, in real life, if you if you dribble the ball when somebody's in front of you in real life, it's going to be...
The patch was so awful that even moves that did not deserve or need to be nerfed received said treatment. Players with 99 3-point rating now had the tiniest of green windows on dribble pull-ups.
Hold on, 2K. Hold on, 2K. Hold on, 2K. Hold on, 2K. Hold on. Why are we patching this? You literally can't spam anymore. Like last patch, and I'm gonna show y'all right after this, bro. You was able to keep flicking up on the right stick while in R2, and your player will keep faking it. He will keep faking the move over and over and over again. I ain't gonna lie, 2K. That's bad. I'm gonna keep it so real. I'm gonna be so honest. That's bad. We worried about the wrong things, 2K. So this is how the fake peak looked last patch, literally right before this patch right here. Nobody asked for this to be patched. It's kind of crazy that they did, I ain't gonna lie.
As irritating as these clips are, this is something that this community should have seen coming if they just paid attention to the past. Familiar patterns. A lot of people, including myself, were among those advocating for this game not to be touched. The reason being that we've seen countless times how 2K devs just cannot patch the game without completely breaking it. Whether it be insufficient testing or compatibility issues with certain aspects of the game, human error, and maybe the most important aspect of a failed attempt at a patch that usually results in a failed patch altogether: rush development. That's right, it is almost impossible to address a lot of game breaking bugs, issues, and mishaps in such a short amount of time. This is why most programs tend to get worse after a patch. Believe it or not, this is not the first time or the first patch fiasco I've covered on this channel. In NBA 2K23, Choc the crybaby in chief was also crying about steals being overpowered.
I haven't complained one time the entire year, but I'm at my wit's end with this fucking game, bro. This 99 steal half glove bullshit has to be patched, dog. If this game is going to survive more than another month, they have to fix this, bro. In this gameplay, I'm on a 6-1 build with gold unpluckable. A 6-1 build with gold unpluckable. And you would think that I'm a scrub at the YMCA that's getting guarded by Gary Payton, dog. I'm getting ripped every single play. And they don't even have to do anything. There's no skill to it.
Although he had a point there and probably had a point about tempo this year, that doesn't take away from the fact that the devs will undoubtedly fold under the pressure of big creators and try to fix the game as soon as possible. In NBA 2K24, it was right stick ripper, which also got nerfed, and in both of these scenarios, the games never recovered. Given all the history of these devs being unable to apply minor tweaks to the game, wouldn't it be beneficial to only focus on one issue at a time? Patch 2.0 of this year was so massive that the notes were 14 pages long. Should we really have such massive patches so early in the game? Food for thought. Since this game is basically unplayable, what are some possible ways to get it back to what it was before the patch? Possible solutions. Obviously, the easy answer would be to revert the game back to what it was prior to the patch. Unfortunately, that is not so simple because, believe it or not, reverting back to a previous state when there's tons of data to manage on the servers would not be that easy. Rather, those would be more patches and hot fixes that will have to be implemented. The devs realized that after patch 2.0 caused a hitch in tempo shooting, so the day after releasing the biggest patch of the year, they immediately updated the game yet again to remove said hitch. The best way to resolve this issue will certainly not be the finger pointing we see going around, especially putting it on creators like Joe Knows.
Let's talk about it. I actually think we agree about a lot of things. I think the reaction of some of, like, my fan base that you said was, coming at you kind of hard was probably just based off of the title mainly, which we understand. Like, you're not going to title the video Joe Knows has some influence over to NBA 2K26. Like, I understand. The game is the game, you know what what I mean? We're all in the content creation game. I understand what you're doing. Bro, you control the game. You told them to do this. And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, I've actually been saying a lot of the opposite of what ended up being in that patch, or at least the timing of some of that stuff. Like, I was saying, be patient. Let's wait and really see. And then people are coming at me like, obviously I'm gonna have to, I don't want to say defend myself because it's not that serious, but like, I'm gonna have to defend myself in terms of like swinging that pendulum back to like a balanced place. Now it seems like you think, or you know, judging by the stuff that I saw you say, it seems like you feel it's like Joe doesn't have some magic button that Joe pushes the button and they do what he says. Just Joe has some influence because devs are in his stream, and you know, he gets invited to events and all that stuff. And I say that's fair. Like, I know it.
In my humble opinion, the best way to resolve this would be for 2K to reach out to some members of this community, preferably anonymous individuals who will test the game thoroughly when preparing for a patch. 2K might even benefit from investing in open beta testing, just like other big franchises usually do. Although this could improve the game's stability, the biggest threat to any NBA 2K game is still the 2K community after all. And that is why NBA 2K26 is unplayable right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini documentary. It took me a bit of time to write the script and get B-roll footage, so I'd really appreciate a thumb up on this video, and I'd love for you to subscribe so you do not miss out on future content. Speaking of that, let me know if this style of content is entertaining to you. And until next time, stay blessed.